What inspires me most is the permanent change inside the electronic music, that I listen to all this kind of new artists that come up every here and then, and they break some rules, they mix genres that they don't, that we wouldn't do earlier, and that's what's like really inspiring me most. Another thing that's really important for me is also my background with Iran. And it can be even an old Iranian song that I listen to, and suddenly it brings up ideas in my head. You know, like I was watching a movie the other day, and it's a very old Iranian black and white movie. And in the middle of the movie, there's 6 minutes of the actors just walking around having fun at the Caspian Sea, and there is music in the background, and the music is so unusual and the harmonies are so crazy that that inspired me right away to write a track, and I used those harmonies to write it, and it was mind-blowing, the result. It's completely different than anything else that I would have done. So it's old stuff can be inspiring, but also like new kids that come along and have other ideas than I would have had. Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm a self-made producer. So I started 1994 with the first steps, and a German guy called Andreas Grosser actually gave me his entire studio and said, okay, make something out of it. And I'm talking about the time where you had no YouTube videos, tutorials and stuff. So I had to read all these manuals, and I had so many devices, like analog, digital, samplers, and super complicated and expensive also. I went through all that and started to get actually sounds out of this, all this analog gear, samplers, and you name it. The engineering part came later, and actually my first record was completely in mono because I had no idea how to do the sound design, and the mastering engineer was like really impressed that I decided to go for the full mono production. Anyway, so right now I must say I love the creating part a lot. The sound engineering part is also nice, but I'm more I have more fun coming up with ideas, getting samples, you know, like tweak them to the right setting, that you have this modern touch, even if it's an old sample, for example, and that kind of stuff. I can do the engineering and it's fun, but I prefer the other one. I would say there are timeless tracks that I probably don't play them in my sets, but I listen to them because sometimes, you know, the tempo doesn't fit anymore, or this production is not as crisp as nowadays. But and it's not necessarily tracks that I would DJ. Like one of my absolute favorite tracks is Massive Attack's Safe From Harm. Like that's for me absolute mind-blowing tune that I've listened a million times probably to it. Yeah, live versus DJ. I'm a diehard DJ, so like I started DJing, and it's all my passion, even more than production. And I've played also live with a Persian band that I accompanied basically, and also with Mark Romboy with an orchestra, with the Dortmund from Philharmonica Orchestra. And that was like insane preparation, and not at all any kind of liberty to do what you want. It was like planned Every note had to be communicated with the orchestra, otherwise they get lost. With the band, with the Iranian band, it was completely different. It's called, his name is Saeed Shambezadeh, and he's a famous Iranian, South Iranian artist. And the first show we had, my computer died before. And I went to Vienna, and we had not, because of delays, we had not a single second time to rehearse. So to do some rehearsal. And we just went on stage, and he said, yeah, just do something. And the funny part is, at the end, everybody was, when we started, everybody was sitting. And at the end, everybody was jumping around and on the tables dancing. So it went well. And I had only a drum computer with me. So it, like, all the obstacles became really like, it's a different story, because you have like 1 hour or 1.5 to tell your story. With your DJing, in my sets, it's a different thing to do. That the limitation makes it somehow fun. My ears are weird. When I'm doing things, or in clubs, or in listening to stuff, or music as such, one of my ears is always trying to find a sample. And sometimes I just know, okay, that's it. I found it, and then I have to go and take action. And as mentioned before, it can take 2.5 years until I come up with the final product. But I work as long as possible to get the perfect result, as good as I can do it. You might have other producers who have better skills, who could take it to another level, but I do the best that I can, and it can take long. It can be also done in very, very short time. But it's like, I know when I hear something that's gonna blow some minds, I know it. Like, the other day I was watching an old Iranian singer giving an interview, and she said a quote that I knew it, I have to use it. It was, obviously it has to be shared with the world. And she's not singing, she's just reciting a poem.